Good day, everyone. Welcome to On the Bench. Today on the bench, I'm going to be tying up my number 9. And the number 9 was originally developed for Searun Cutthroat in the Pacific Northwest area. And it's also been used for coho salmon, pink salmon, rainbow trout in lakes, kokanee, and I even heard it works for walleye. So it works for multiple species. Great little fly. Let's go ahead and get started. For materials, I'm going to be using a size 10 streamer hook. I'm using a sea streamer because I'm going to be using this one in the ocean. Any size 10 streamer hook is fine though. For a bead, I'm going to be using a 1/8 brass bead in gold. For thread, I'm using red, and I'm using classic waxed by Semperfli in 12/0. 8/0's fine if that's what you have. I used 8/0 for years. For the tail, it's crosscut rabbit in 2-tone flesh strips. This one's creamy pink. The one I'll actually be tying with is in cotton candy, and it's just a little bit darker. This is the one I use more often, the cotton candy. But this one works as well. The body is small gold chenille. And the hackle is Palmer chenille in small, and it's pearl colored. Just going to place my hook in the vise here. Start my thread in behind the bead and work my way back to the point where about the tail is, which is where the barb would be. Snip that off. Next, I'm going to tie in a little piece of the rabbit, and I'm just going to cut it off the hide. Just cut a little piece off the hide, and then you want to tie it in so some of the white is showing as well as the pink behind your thread where you're tying it in, so that it has the 2 tones. And just take a couple of turns underneath the tail there. It keeps it from fouling when you're fishing. Next, I'm going to tie in my Palmer chenille. And you just take the stuff and make sure it's straight first, and then just snip a little bit off the front here, so that you have a piece of the string to tie in. Next, take your gold chenille, and same thing. You want a little piece of the string to tie in, so you just pick a little bit of the sparkly stuff off with your fingertips. Tie that in, and then wind your thread forward. Take the chenille and start turning it in close touching turns all the way up the hook. When you get to the bead, don't snug it right next to the bead too tight. Leave just a little area for your hackle and collar. And the Palmer chenille, you just want to take it, make sure it's facing backwards like that, and then palmer it up the body in diagonal turns, leaving a little bit of the gold showing in between the turns. So ideally on a size 10 hook, I take about 5 to 6 wraps to get up to the front, and then 2 complete turns at the front before you tie it off. Let's tie that off really well. Snip that out, and then just build a little red collar here. And then take a couple of whip finishes. I've even tied this in bigger sizes for steelhead and it's worked. Ooh. Snip that off. Use your glue or resin of choice here. I'm using nail polish. And just give that collar a little dab. There you have it, the number 9. Great pattern for cutthroat, rainbow, salmon. Thanks for joining me on this edition of On the Bench. Take care, everyone, in tight lines.